Your will is your executive faculty, but now your will, if you're not careful, can get ahead of everything else. Your will can get ahead of everything else. As a matter of fact, when Jesus was on the cross, he said a few words. Would anybody remember what some of the words that he said? The words that he said, Say it louder. So who is that? Say it louder, Liz. Where was it at? In the garden. Excuse me. I've got my locations mixed up. In the Garden of Gethsemane. Not my will, but thine will be done. Not my will, but thine will be done. That's really the proper disposition for your will. You want to make sure that your will is aligned with the will of God for you. Does that make sense? You want to make sure that your will is aligned with the will of God with you, for you. So now, if you have the illumination, you have the faith, you have the imagination, you realize your responsibility in understanding, and you've aligned your will with the will of God, you've also now gone through and separated those things because some things require separation. And you've also looked back at each level of the process and saw that it was good. Or you saw what you needed to see. We still together? Yes. And so what does the next step say? Mm-hmm. So judgment and discrimination. So now, judgment, we're again seeing, we're not just seeing, we're judging in a couple of different ways. Judgment takes place on two levels. Judgment takes place on two levels. One on the sense level, and one through spiritual understanding. If you judge on the sense level, you judge how? By appearance. You might judge by how you feel. You might judge by what you see, and what you see might not be through the lens of your looking back and seeing that it was good. You might judge by what you hear. Right? There might not be anyone around you who says that this idea is possible. You might be the only person in your environment who encourages you to go ahead and go back to school. You might be the only one in your environment who says to yourself, I can start a new business. But if you judge through your senses, then you rob yourself of the higher awareness of your manifestation. You rob yourself of your power if you judge purely by your senses, because your senses are limited. They can only take you so far. Right? Your senses can only take you so far. But spiritual understanding is a whole different ballgame. Spiritual understanding taps you into the omniscience of God. Your spiritual understanding gives you the ability to see well beyond what's showing up, to hear well beyond what's playing on the radio. Spiritual understanding gives you the ability to tap into something else. And when you're talking about bringing forth something out of what appears to be nothing by using all there is, sometimes you just have to align yourself with that which is. But life, in and through life, we just become inundated with the daily pangs of living. For many of us, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Whatever the threats of livingness are, that's what we're pushing through. That's what we're working through. Right? If you don't have peace in your home, it's a little bit difficult to manifest some dream. Right? If you don't have the cooperation of your coworkers, it can be difficult to manifest the project. But what I'm saying to you is that you have the ability to tap into something that is well beyond the limits of that. Not only do you have the ability, you are it. You are it. You are it. But if you play yourself cheap and according to what you see and what you hear and how you feel, excuse me, Doc, you can't always go by how you feel. Well, as a matter of fact, let's just go right into the next one since we're right there. Number 6. So let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion. Right? So now we've been talking really all day about, or evening, or all hour, about our having power, command, authority, dominion. Power, command, authority, dominion. Power, command, authority, dominion. You are more, bigger, better suited than you might think you are. You are no worm in dust. You are no victim of circumstance. You have power, command, authority, and dominion. But you have to be willing to walk in it. Power is a funny thing. It's the ability to do, but if you don't use it, then you don't do. Command is an interesting thing. It gives you the ability to order after the pattern of your consciousness. It gives you the ability to order something after the pattern of your consciousness. But if you don't use it, it's worthless. Authority and dominion are your divine birthright, right? Heirs of God, joint heirs with Christ. Children of God, heirs of God, joint heirs with Christ. That means you are all that God is. That means you are all that God is. But that comes with one heck of a responsibility. And I really wanted to use a different word there. No, you won't. Comes with a serious responsibility. Heavy price tag. Heavy price tag. To exercise your authority and dominion. Over you, not over anybody else. Right? You don't have authority and dominion over anybody else. You have authority and dominion over yourself. Hit me with a little something, Monte. Let me get ready to wrap up out of here. You have authority and dominion over you. You are made in the image after the likeness of God with authority and dominion. So now at the 6th step, what you must do is bring your wisdom and love together to facilitate your manifestation. Not just your wisdom and love, if through the wisdom you use your intuitive, inspirational capacities and faculties. Through your aspect of love, you use the realization that you are already one with all that is. But then you must also, at this step, use your thinking and your feeling nature. You must activate those, right? So you can't think counter to what it is you say do you desire, right? You can't speak words that are not consistent with what it is you're trying to manifest. All that does is bury your dream further in your soul, in doubt and disbelief. Don't do it to yourself. Because after you've gone through the effort to let there be light, And after you've established the faith, faith is not, it sounds easy, but it's not easy. To believe what's not showing up. To believe in the possibility. That's not always easy. But after you have established the faith, and after you have used your imagination properly, after you have worked your understanding and you've judged righteously, after you've applied your thinking and your feeling nature properly, then it's time to rest. Not before then, though. It's time to rest after you've done all you can. You stand. After you've done everything that you can do to create your new experience, then it's time to rest. But before that time, keep on moving, keep on trucking. Don't stop. Don't let nobody stop you. Don't let anybody stop your shine. Don't let anybody stop your go. Just know that the thing that you desire is already yours. If the idea comes to you, the idea comes fulfilled. God would not have it any other way. Neither should you. All right?